I fear that a lot of our anger and outrage is being captured and directed not in the wrong places, but in not in the right places either. So Epstein, okay. Now don't get me wrong. Epstein was, I don't know, the devil, El Diablo, the Altabize, whatever you want to call him. He was evil. But from what I'm getting from the Epstein files, he wasn't, shall we say, the final boss. He was more of like a fixer. I'm not saying I know who the final boss was, or are, or singular, plural, whatever, but that's the impression that I get. And we're all being told to focus our outrage on Epstein and his co conspirators as if they were all under him. And I don't think that's the structure. But, and I mean, this is all my opinions, of course, but beyond that, though, I think that it is very easy for people to focus their outrage on the actions of an individual or group of individuals. It is much harder to focus our outrage and to sustain that outrage against the system that enabled and created them. But without that focus on the system, without that driving urge to change the system, all we're going to do, even if we find Epstein co-conspirators and punish them, is treat symptoms of the disease. Because the system itself is the disease, and Epstein and the Epstein class and the billionaire class and all of these people are just symptoms. And I think in some ways consciously and in some ways unconsciously, our focus is being shifted from what it really should be, which is finding out how Epstein got to where he was, who was above him, who enabled him, not just who committed crimes with him on this level. But beyond that, it needs to be focused on the fact that our entire system is built to enable these people and to oppress, victimize, and re victimize people that don't have power and money and connections, the very people that the Epstein class victimized. Victim blaming is endemic in our society because we glorify the abusers. We glorify the rich and the powerful, even though they are some of the most abjectly depraved people on the planet. And it's not like we didn't know this, okay? We may not have had evidence in our faces of this level of depravity like we do now with the Epstein files, but we knew what these people were. We knew that they were not decent, good people, and yet we've elevated them, we've glorified them. And that's part of the whole problem. The whole capitalist system that glorifies the oppressor and berates the one who isn't successful, the one who isn't able to grab power and wield it over others. The system that victim blames, the system that encourages white supremacy. I mean, patriarchy, capitalism, and white supremacy are the three pillars that support oppression and victimization in America. Not just America, but America is a very good example where it is clearly defined. And until we address those systemic problems, all we're going to do is punish symptoms, and those symptoms are going to pop back up somewhere else. Someone else is going to take over for Epstein. Actually, I believe somebody already did a long time ago. But even if we catch that person, it's going to be somebody else until we address the underlying problems. So don't let your rage and outrage be misdirected to just be towards Jeffrey Epstein or the people who partied with him, because they're horrific, they're monsters, but they're not the problem.